Time for sound design. In today's video, I want to explore the groove pool functionality in Ableton, meaning I want to extract the groove of a drum or percussion loop and not to apply it to a drum machine loop that I made myself, but to apply it to melodic elements. So I created some chords in Ableton, sort of very short rhythmic chords, by using the drift synthesizer. And I want to create a bit more life into this chord sequence by using a groove from a drum or percussion loop. And I think this is particularly interesting when you want to keep your drums kind of simple and on the beat. So if you want to have a 4-to-the-floor kick drum that is exactly quantized to the grid, but you want to create some kind of groove in other elements of the song, so why not apply it to the rhythmic chords? Well, let's go into Ableton and let's create some groovy chords. So here on the first track in Ableton, I have a drift synthesizer and I created this very basic sound. And I created this chord progression in a 2-bar loop. So as you can hear, this is a very basic loop and the notes are exactly on the grid. But I want to create a bit more groove into it. So I'm gonna go to my drum loops. Let's start with this one. Put it on an audio track. And if you right click on the clip, it says here in the menu, extract grooves. So let's do that. And now the groove pool shows up on the left. So it's this icon here with the 2 waves. And here you can see symbol loop 5. The bass is a 16 note. And then you have quantize, timing, random, and velocity as options. So I duplicated my chords from the drift synthesizer. So this is the original and this is then the groove version. So opening up the clip here on the groove, I can now select the symbol loop 5. And when I play it, it is already applied. If I gonna play with these parameters, so if I bring the random up, so I can preview it by playing with these parameters. If I go very extreme with random, for instance, to 100%. It starts to fall apart a bit. Now I apply the groove and you can see now that the MIDI notes have changed. So if you go to the original, everything is at 100 velocity. And since I cranked up the velocity here, now you can see there's differences in velocity, but also in the timing. So you see that notes have moved a bit forward or a bit behind, and it sounds like this. So let's do a proper comparison. Let's do the before. And the after. So as you can hear, there's a difference. It's a subtle difference because it really depends on the groove that you use, that you extract from the audio file, how crazy your chords, of course, kind of differ. But it is a subtle difference and it's a very easy way to create variation in your MIDI programming. So let's take another loop and do the same thing again. So I create another duplicate of the synth line. And let's find something else now. Maybe something like this. Let's extract the groove again. This one is called drum loop 34. And let's apply it to our chords. Let's bring the random up. Let's bring the velocity up. Maybe less this time. And a bit of quantize. Or maybe not actually. Let's put this on 30 seconds. Let's crank both random and velocity all the way up to 100%. And let's apply it. Let's try a different instrument now to maybe even better exemplify the differences. So I'm gonna use the Numa Player plugin and use a Rhodes piano. Let's use the same original clip. So it sounds like this. But for this instrument, let's make the notes a bit longer so they can nicely ring out. And let's apply a groove to this. So the second groove, the drum loop 34, let's change the random a bit and the velocity as well. Put it on 16th. Let's apply it. I'm gonna crank the volume up of this track a little bit because it's a bit low in volume now. And here you can really clearly hear and also see in the MIDI clip that there's a lot of time shifting has happened. So the start of the notes is not exactly at the same point anymore as it was in the original programming. And especially with the electric piano, you get that nice kind of plunky. And as you can also see, I brought the velocity down to 33, so there's less variation now in the velocity of the notes and more in the actual timing, the start points of the notes. So a quick before and after. So before it sounded like this. It's very sort of hammering on the beat, like it's a bit ugly, to be honest. And then with the groove applied, so yeah, the extract groove feature in Ableton is a great way to humanize your MIDI programming, whether it's drums or melodic content like I showed today. And for this I used, from a sample library from Music Radar, I used drum loops and percussion loops, but you can use any kind of loop that has rhythmic content, of course, to extract a groove from. You can also just kind of make sounds with your mouth, like beatbox into a microphone, and use that as a way to create a groove and extract it to apply it to your MIDI. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Keep making music and see you in the next one.